was a little bit uninspired by digital photography in the past couple of months, so I went out and bought a 35mm and medium format camera again, and I wanted to put some film through these. And the problem was, when I went to go look at film, I had so many options that I wanted to shoot with, but then I took a step back and was like, well, why don't I just focus on one film stock for now, learn it in and out, and then I'll learn how to get the best results out of that. The film stock I ended up going with for both these cameras was Portra 400 in 35 and 120. So in this video, I'm gonna go over what I learned shooting Portra 400 in a couple of different scenarios. I kind of did lie a little bit. I bought some Cinestill 800T and some expired Ektar, but I won't be using these just yet, I promise. Starting off with the 120 photos from the Mamiya, I loaded up the Portra 400 and went to my parents' house, and then everyone was inside. So I'm like, well, now we're testing the low light capabilities of the Mamiya. So I got my light meter out. I metered everywhere around the room. The only place that you could take photos was right in front of the window. So I positioned my brother and his son in front of the window. And I think this one turned out a little bit underexposed, but this was the best lighting I was getting in there. To get it a little better, I positioned them even closer to the window. Like, my sister-in-law is sitting literally on the windowsill here. So this is the proper exposure. And when I metered the background right here, I thought this was going to be completely faded to black. So I'm surprised there's even any data back there. This photo is completely from the opposite side. This was sitting on the couch with no window in front of it, but I wanted to shoot it so I can get this really bright light in the background. And then I just told my brother to shine a phone flashlight on her to get any kind of light at all. And this photo turned out exactly how I thought, very underexposed, but I wanted to see the difference between the brightest highlights back here and the darkest shadows. And I got these developed at the dark room, and I think they actually bumped up the exposure in post as well. So I haven't edited any of these photos, but this was the darkest one, and this turned out the way I thought it would. This one was a photo of an overcast day that I properly exposed. I was shooting at 3.8, and I think my shutter was 60 or 120. So this is more of an everyday overcast photo that I would shoot here in Cleveland because we have a lot of overcast days. And this is more along the lines of something that I would see out and about. So actually, I would try to overexpose this even more. If I was going to shoot this today, I would shoot this at least one stop over. This was another highlight and shadow test. This is in my kitchen with just sunlight shining on cabinets, and not an earth-shatteringly great photo, but something that was a good representation of highlights and shadows. And honestly, I should have overexposed it even more. This was another shot that I set exposure looking this way, and then I turned my body and shot the same exposure looking into the shadows. And I wanted to see specifically how this one looked because I love shooting into the shadow side just to show as much dimension as possible. And I think I would have to really overexpose even when I'm shooting into the shadow side of things. So that's another good thing to note with my shooting style in Portra 400. These two photos I overexposed a little bit. I love the way this photo looks, and this photo just looks a little bit mush to me. Like, this was overcast sunny. The sun was out more. So I was trying to like take mental notes of where the sun was when I was shooting these, and you can see that the sun is a little bit harder on this side of the tree. So I love shooting a little bit overexposed in harsh sunlight. I omitted a lot of like family pictures that I took, but I left this one in because I absolutely loved the dimension of this smoke here that Yuno is holding the sparkler. I think adding volume and depth with the film grain is a very unique look, and I really want to lean into that in the future. Taking a quick second to tell you about today's video sponsor, Motion Array. Editing is by far the most time-consuming part of making videos, for me at least, and Motion Array speeds that up. Motion Array has tons of high quality video templates, footage, photos, music, sound effects, and more that you can use in your personal and commercial projects. Motion Array has thousands of different assets, and they break it down so it's easy to find exactly what you're looking for. They have motion graphic overlays, loops, animations, transitions, and more to help add interest to your videos. There are video templates that help you save time making titles, infographics, logo reveals, transitions, and more. They also have LUTs for all popular editors like Resolve, Premiere, After Effects, and Final Cut. Motion Array also has stock footage that actually looks good, and I love that they have collections so you can use different shots from the same scene to help tell a more cohesive story. Motion Array also has an automated tool to help automatically clear copyright issues so you can remove the headache of copyright claims. To try out Motion Array, you can sign up for a free account and access a small amount of free assets, or subscribe to a monthly or annual plan to access their entire library to use in your personal and commercial projects. If you use the link in my description, you'll get $50 off when you subscribe today. Thank you, Motion Array, for sponsoring this video. This one was a really unique one because I remember shooting the Pentax with 1/30th of a shutter, and I was trying to get my dad lighting this firework, and I was seeing if I could hold it still enough and capture the trail of the smoke going up. And then before 1 second could go by, I literally snapped this picture, got to the next photo as fast as I possibly could, and snapped another one. This is how far the smoke dissipated. The difference between 2 or 3 frames can really mean a lot. Photos like this on a film camera are really satisfying when you go and set out with a goal and then you actually capture that goal. With a digital camera, I can do like 12, 15 frames a second, and eventually I will get that frame with 9 other duds. But with a film camera, you get one shot and you can hit the shutter, get to the next frame, and that's how fast you can shoot. This photo, I wanted to get another person that was walking towards us. I wanted to get their reflection in the mirror, but the problem was they were walking really fast. I literally looked down, thought I knew what camera settings I needed, and focused for about how far away I thought it was, and I ended up missing the frame. So going back to timing, I think if I could dial in the timing of my shutter and be able to pull off photos like this on the fly with film, that is going to be something that is very satisfying. Really quick example, this was shot at f2.8, this was shot at f22, this was shot at f22. For this one, I wanted to have the roller coasters silhouetted, but I overexposed this too much and it's not much of a silhouette. So in the future, I know to really lean in to silhouettes and underexpose the image, maybe a little more than I'm comfortable with. This one, I completely screwed up. I was trying to get this car coming over this hill, and I wanted to get just the first 2 people looking over the hill. I got distracted and I completely missed the perfect frame here. So things like that with a digital photo, I wouldn't even care. But now that I look at this, I realized I had one shot at it and I blew it, and I want to do better next time. And I turned around and all my friends were standing there, so I made them stand together for a picture because they made me screw that one up. Again, this is just guessing the settings, setting it to minimum focusing distance, and ripping a photo. I don't know, I just think these are really fun. This photo was one that I wanted to see how slow of a shutter I could get. This was at 1/15th of a shutter, and this was at f2.8. I'm surprised this is as sharp as it is, and in my next roll, I want to see if I can get even lower than 1/15th, because if I need to overexpose things, I want to know how low of a shutter I can go and still get good results. This is just a photo of Applebee's. Again, this was a lot of experimentation. I shot this photo because it had this light right here, and I was wondering how much it would bloom at night, and I was pleasantly surprised that even shooting Portra 400, this was completely underexposed. but whenever it shot into some neon bright light, I really love this halation, and I think I want to do a complete roll at night, trying to see how much halation and how it really works with Portra 400 in the future. So that is what I learned shooting Portra 400, and I'm very interested in my next test rolls. With these 2 rolls, I learned that I need to overexpose by at least a stop if I'm measuring the light. And if I'm not measuring the light and I'm using the viewfinder light meter on my K1000, go even more overexposed than I thought. It's stuff like that that I really enjoy doing, figuring out the intricacies of Portra 400 and when I can use it, what I can get away with, and what I like. So if I want to charge clients in the future, I'm not pointing, shooting, and hoping I get a good image. I'm able to say, okay, go stand by that window and, you know, angle yourself here. That's how much light we're gonna get. I need to overexpose by a stop to get the image that I'm wanting. I wanna be that confident whenever I'm going out and shooting film. Right now, I'm just not there, because when I used to shoot film, I would just go out with a point and shoot and kind of let it rip, and then go develop it, and whatever happened with the film happened. In the future, I'll just be rating my camera for ISO 200, or my light meter for ISO 200 to get that extra stop of overexposure that I'm looking for. And I'm really excited for my next rolls of Portra 400. How do you guys like Portra 400? Overexposed or properly exposed, or even underexposed, if that's what you're into? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.